This is just going to be a super quick video about how I updated the movement code to reach the golden goose of what I've been trying to do. So what I got going on here is what I've been trying to do ever since I started on this is that this isn't the actual original movement code that I ripped off, basically. This driver is apparently not a very good driver in their stats because they're not going very fast. These are just random obstacles where, okay, so this driver nope, I ain't doing it. I'm going back home is what they decided, because they were able to know where they were on the square and what was in front of them on the square. So this person knows exactly where they are and the next square ahead. Each square is approximately 5 miles. They're going to Carthage. So what are they going to do? And this guy's a good driver. Whoop, nope. They both decided they weren't good enough. They didn't want to damage their vehicles in the hazard. And so I've been able to simplify the code. There's no more timers. There's nothing really changed in the finding the path. I mean, this is find path right here. This is pretty much the only original line from the original code I found. And the only thing it does is check if start cell equals end cell and if the cell is within the grid and is not a solid, I think. And that's basically all that line does. This is a problem here because if these do have an issue, it just hides the instance and then queues it free and gets rid of it and then returns. The problem with that is the town that sent out the convoy doesn't get their vehicle back, and their driver and passenger don't get returned either. And they're in sublocation convoy, but not part of the population for infinity. So I hope that never does anything. But the follow path, this was the original follow path. It had the timer, movement, junk, and I mean, look at all that. This is the new follow path. Let's get rid of that. It just gets some variables that it needs, and that's it. This is it right here. Compared to the old code, this is awesome. This allows me to know exactly what tile I'm on and exactly what the tile ahead holds. That's for these people to know, ooh, look at you, you're fast. You, not so much. And, you know, when they do these convoys, I can also add, they do so many things. They successfully do a convoy route or they're part of a party that goes out on the road and they return and they were drivers. They get a blip up on their driving ability. And I'm thinking 10 blips, and they increase 1 rank as a driver. So they'll drive a little faster from then on. And they'll have more control during maneuvers and stuff like that. But the whole point, I wanted them to know where they were going, what the next tile held. So what I needed is ID and ID path only shows, let's do a F11 to step into it. This only shows, I thought like it would, my impression was this would show where in single numerical wise I was in this array. Oh Lord, that's a big path. What's path size? 94. They're going to the other side of the map. But this instead shows what position in ID path. Currently it's just 8142, which is the first position of this array. So I needed something to keep track of where in the array this position actually was. So where this keep track of where this is in this. And I need path total size -1. This is not a good way to do it. I should have just done -1 here, but it is what it is for now. So I would know, where the end was, where the end of this path was. So this tells me again where this is in this, and path total size tells me where the end of this is. So I still create a tween. Current tile oak is ID. Why is that ID? F11, F11, F11. We'll do a look at. Yeah, this is an error on my part, but it still works. It's why I'm still using look at, because I have to look at the next tile, not their current tile. So these are kind of, this is currently named correctly. This is not named correctly, because the only thing this is it gets the point position of ID. So next tile oak which is current tile oak, 2608, 1360, and local coordinates, I believe. And so, yeah, something's kind of funky. I got to figure that all out. That's why I'm keeping the look at and not trying to do a smooth turn. Everybody changes their speed based when I do the get variables. I have a point in the globals for this particular script. I have a speed as 0.5. The lower the speed, the faster. So when I grab all the variables I need out of the globals, the town name, the start town, end town, all of this stuff, if driver is not equal to null, which means nothing, there's already an error in the script that sets all this up. That is just grabbing two random people out of the town that is doing the convoy. I haven't had the chance where they try to grab the same person twice, but I got code to set up. I think after I grab the driver, I'll set their sublocation to convoy, and then before I grab when I grab the passenger, I have to use a while passenger dot sublocation not equal to convoy, grab a new passenger, and that should work. And so this sets the speed. So the really bad drivers, they're going to be at speed 1.5. So it's adding 1 for someone that can't drive. And the excellent drivers will be at a speed of 1.4. No, it'll be at a speed, since it's 0.5, they'll be at 0.9. So they're definitely going to be faster than these people. And then as someone's driving, like 3 is normal. The speeds will vary. So find path is all the same. Goes into follow path. We haven't had that issue. Oh, we're at a breakpoint. Oh, yeah, because I was showing this stuff. For ID and ID path, the only thing that I wanted to know, what happens when I have to break out of this follow path. So I did it with the hazards. So if we look down here, I do have to break. If we look down here, I also, when I'm creating this path, so something did change, in the find path, I'm creating a cell path. And this tells me within this ID path, at which location. So ID path starts all the way on the left at 2,63. Cell path tells me at that location it's tile cell 4. So if we go to the tile map, number 4 is a town. The whole point of this particular code here is I want to find tile cell 5, because those are the makeshift hazards I'm putting out there. So for that, since I'm using Z to locate my position in here, I have to use a separate variable called ZZ. So I can add ZZ to 1 to look at the next tile if we're not at path total size, which is 98. So Z is 45, which will make ZZ 46. So right there, ZZ is 46, even though Z is 45, because 45 is where we currently are in the path. We're 45 spaces in. We want to look at the 46th space, and we want to match what that is. If it happens to be 5, which is this, then we'll do this code. And if they're on the way to their destination and not on their way home, because they get set as heading home when they reach the destination. So if they're not home and we hit 5, then we start this match code. All of this is matching drivers, driver.driving. So it's matching their driving skill. And this is just sloppy code I threw in because it's pretty much all the same thing except for what the role is. I'll fix it later. Optimize. It determines their chance of just turning around and heading back home instead of risking their vehicle getting damaged going through the hazard. And I have to have if home equals false, because if they decide to go through it on the way to their destination, they're going to go through it on their way back. And I don't want them on their way back deciding, oh, I don't want to go through this hazard, so I'm going to go home, but they're already on their way home. So, yeah. So here, if this person heads back home, this is the no good drivers. If they roll a 90 out of 100, so a 0 to 90, they will head back home. And so I have to set home true. So when they hit home, the path is finished. It does the code to give the town their vehicle back and give the town their driver and their passenger back. And so I set home true, I kill the tween, and then I find a path from this current ID to the start town's ID. And the only thing I did, another thing I changed in find path is originally they wanted, I had to send local coordinates as start and end. Instead, I just changed it so that I have to send map coordinates. I'm using map coordinates down here. So just here, I'm changing your function. You don't want local coordinates anymore. You want map coordinates. So it finds these map coordinates and then starts this whole thing again. And this just prints the roll. Someone here rolled a 78. They saw the hazard ahead, rolled a 78, and I have no idea if they passed or not because I don't know what their driver skill is or even what vehicle it was, and I just don't care. But anyways, if it's not a 5, which in this case it's probably not, we are 45 cells into this mess. So I'm just going to say it's not if none of this happens, this match, then if the current cell they're in is in this mess, then they are in the hazard and their speed plummets. And I haven't put in any code yet for breakdowns, which I had in the old code. And after we do all those checks, we do a tween property self position. This is in local coordinates 7, the next tile location at whatever the temp speed is. Like in this case, their speed of 1.1, and that's due to the speed things up there. And this is before the match, so I doubt very much it's going to be a 5. Where's F11? Yeah, it wasn't a 5. So their speed did not change. So it's 1. Are they currently? No. So they're not in. Yeah, their speed hasn't changed because there's not a hazard ahead that they have to decide whether they're going to turn around or not. And they're not currently in a hazard, which would kill their speed entirely. And then this is the important thing. I could never figure out why I put timer in there. This just waits until the tween is finished. This allows this to smoothly move from one tile to another. Wow, it took them a while to get through that. Other code I'd done, they would be jerking from one tile to another, one tile to another. But that await tween makes all of this happen. And right there, they were able... Are they going home? To Taint Chapel. Uh-oh, that's right. This code sees those as solids. Well, let's see if they come back out, because if they come back... Oh, crap. Yeah. If they come back out, they're going to have to go through that again. Privacy. Yeah, so they're heading home. So they were coming from privacy to Taint Chapel, and now they're heading home to privacy. So they made the decision to go through, risking the code's not in, but when they put the code back in, risking damaging their vehicle. And when they left, they have to do that again, risking damaging it again. So if I do an F9 here, we'll see the driver of whatever instance we happen to stop on. His name is Ewan Ritz. They're from Guttown. Their sublocation is in a convoy. His driving is 2, so he's not going to be going too fast. His repair is only 2. The passenger is Haran Warren, also from Guttown, hopefully. Sublocation that they're currently in a convoy. So you're a male, and you're a male. You're 48, and you're 55. Okay, so Haran's driving, which is not in question here, they're a passenger, is 2, but his repair is kind of garbage at 1. So when I get the code in, if they break down, they might not even have the repair skills to fix what broke down. I still have to make vehicle objects detailing all the parts and classifying what skill it will take to fix that part. So let's say, for example, they break down here because there's a hazard here, and the driver, old Ewan, was in a psychology 6. I don't know what that number means. I have to look it up. But say they're in a mental state. Mental state 1, I don't think is a very good mental state. Let's say they're in a pissed off mental state. Their psychology, we'll just say 6 is their psychotic. So a psychotic that's pissed off and seeing a hazard has a chance of just flooring it right through the hazard and destroying the car or breaking it down. If they don't have the repair skill to fix it, the passenger wouldn't have the repair skill probably to fix it. They would have, I hope they brought enough food and water, because they would have to walk all the way back to wherever they came from, which in this world would be dangerous. Each square is approximately 5 miles. Oh, that's right. This is not the game map, the running one. So they would have to very slowly walk back. I haven't put any of that code in yet, but it's going to be pretty simple to do. Because I'm already mucking with what their driving skill was. And with the old code, I had breakdown code. And the breakdown depended on the total of their repair skill, how long they were going to be broken down there. And with all the traffic that's going on with just the test map, it became quite the traffic jam when they were broke down for too long. Come on, I have to F12. Like if someone comes here with the old code and they broke down, traffic would just collision, 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 coming out of here, collision, collision, collision. But the whole point of this is I can now rest easy because I have the code I want. This player movement code is the original code I started with. I don't know jack about what tiles these things are going on. This guy knows what tiles he's on, what the next tile is. It allows me to have the drivers and the passengers make decisions on their own about what they're going to do. And it is freaking perfect. Last time I'm going to update this. I'm done with my driving, with trying to get things to drive. But anyways, when destination reach, they still do the tween. They do the, okay, so also the main thing is, every time it goes through, I simply create a new tween. I don't kill the old tween unless it has to be killed because something changed. Right here, tween property, go to the next tile or whatever's next tile at this speed. Await until that animation is finished. If Z equals total size, we're going to kill it. Kill the tween. Otherwise, we're going to update our path in ID path by 1. Then this loops right back and does the next ID in the path. And our Z is updated at the end, so we know where we are here, and it creates a brand new tween. Now, when the path is finished, we kill the tween. We kill it right here, and there's nothing. We're at the end of the path, so this won't loop back. It comes down, tween done, destination reach emit. And destination reach means they successfully reach either home or where they were going to. And that's matched with home, just like the other video was about. And basically nothing's changed here, except I had to put in code to, at certain points, clear the collision. I had to clear this, because this is what creates the collisions, but I had to turn it off because even though I'm like hiding it here, I'm not sure what's going on with this code, but basically false. So I'm hiding it here. I have to move this call deferred collision, I think. Anyways, I have to turn, even if you hide the sprite, the collision, for some reason, is still active. So I have to use a call deferred collision on off statement, which is where. So the call deferred calls a function and then a variable within that function. It must be way up here. Yeah, collision on-off thing. So back there it was saying false. So collision shape 2D, which is here, disabled equals false. So it's not disabled. It does the same here with follow path, false. Somewhere I actually make it true in theory, or maybe that's something I'm going to redo and make it true, because when they stop at a town, or they get stuck in here, well, in here collision would be on, but when they reach their destination, I hide their icon, but if something comes out of that town to do its own convoy, the collision of the hidden one is still on. So I have to turn that collision off that way. All right, everybody have a great day. This is getting way too long.